Hundreds of thousands of people have seen Dr. Berg's take on why you should be wary of supplementing valerian root. His main point is that it can act like a sedative, leaving you feeling groggy.
So if you're going to use valerian root, I would recommend using it for anxiety, but not insomnia.
That's a valid concern, but it's not the whole story. What if I told you that recent research shows a completely different side to this ancient herb, a side that Dr. Berg's video didn't get into? Hi, I'm David Toman, author of Nootropics Expert and this YouTube channel. Now stick with me and I'll show you the updated research that could completely change how you understand valerian root. Instead of being a simple sedative, it's more sophisticated than that, and it provides benefits for your sleep, anxiety, and menopause. And that's next. What's valerian root? Dr. Berg was right about one thing. You don't want to just knock yourself out. Restorative sleep isn't about sedation. It's about waking up feeling refreshed and feeling clear-headed. He frames valerian as more of a blunt instrument, one that causes drowsiness without fixing the real problem, which he often ties to high cortisol.
It's high levels of cortisol.
And for some people, especially at high doses, that may be true. But here's the critical detail that he's missing. Valerian is not just a sedative. The way it really works is far more elegant. New research shows that when used correctly, it can improve sleep quality and calm anxiety in a way that goes far beyond just making you sleepy. I'm going to explain this new science next, so stay with me. We'll get into dosages and stuff later. Valerian benefits and the GABA connection. To really understand valerian, you first have to understand GABA. GABA is your brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. Think of it as the brake pedal for your nervous system. When you have enough GABA, your brain can effectively slow down, dialing back the neural activity that you experience as stress and racing thoughts. If you have low GABA, you're likely feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and can't shut off your brain at night. Now this is where it gets interesting. Dr. Berg mentions that valerian boosts GABA, but he frames it as purely a sedative effect. The reality is much more interesting than that. Valerian contains a compound called valerianic acid. Preclinical research shows that valerian binds to GABA A receptors, which provides its anxiolytic effect, much like Xanax and Valium, but without the side effects associated with these drugs. And second, and this is the most important part, the other compounds in valerian act as positive allosteric modulators of your GABA receptors. That just means that your brain's receptors are more sensitive to the GABA that's already there. It doesn't just flood your system, it helps your own natural calming mechanisms work better. This isn't about forcing your brain to shut down. It's about helping your brain to work better. Now this is the key to how valerian can potentially reduce anxiety and improve sleep instead of just causing you to feel groggy and having unrefreshing sleep. Valerian clinical research, what's new since Dr. Berg's video? The science around herbal supplements is always evolving, and some of the newer research on valerian paints a far more detailed picture. First, let's look at the idea that valerian only works if you take it for weeks. An interesting 2024 study examined the effects of a single 200 milligram dose of a standardized valerian extract. The results were pretty remarkable. After just one dose, the valerian group saw a significant 9% increase in their actual sleep time compared to their own baseline. And that's another 30 minutes of sleep. But the placebo group, both of which were in an unfamiliar sleep lab, actually saw their sleep get worse. This suggests that even in stressful new environments, that single dose of valerian didn't just prevent sleep from getting worse, it actually improved it. Now what about long-term use in that morning grogginess fear? A study published in late 2023 followed study participants for 56 days. It found that a standardized valerian extract significantly improved overall sleep quality. It reduced the time it took to fall asleep, and it increased sleep efficiency. But here's the thing, participants in the valerian group also reported a significant decrease in daytime sleepiness and felt more refreshed when they woke up. That sounds to me like restorative sleep and not a sedative hangover. The research also backs up this herb's role in anxiety, which is often the real reason people can't sleep. A 2021 study looked at patients undergoing the stressful experience of hemodialysis. Those who took 530 milligrams of valerian for a month saw significant reductions in both anxiety and depression symptoms, along with better sleep quality compared to the placebo. More than just sleep, the other benefits Dr. Berg missed. Focusing only on sleep misses many of valerian's other potential uses. The same calming and neurosupportive properties are being studied for a range of other conditions. One of the most promising areas is managing menopause symptoms. Several studies have shown that valerian root may help reduce the severity and frequency of hot flashes. A 2018 study, for example, found that postmenopausal women taking 1,060 milligrams of valerian every day for 2 months had a significant reduction in their hot flashes compared to placebo. For women looking for non-hormonal ways to manage your symptoms, this is an important area of research. Now, beyond that, some studies suggest that valerian may also help with the physical and emotional symptoms of PMS. There's even preliminary evidence studying valerian for symptoms of OCD and for reducing hyperactivity in ADHD children, though this research is still in its very early stages. The point is, just labeling valerian as a risky sleep aid means ignoring a huge body of evidence pointing to its wider benefits for stress, anxiety, and hormonal balance. Valerian recommended dosage. How to use valerian correctly. So how do we put this all into practice? Dr. Berg's warnings about grogginess isn't wrong. It's just incomplete. That side effect is most often tied to excessively high doses or low-quality, non-standardized products. The research points to a much smarter way to use valerian. First, dosage is everything. For sleep, most studies use a dose of dried valerian root extract between 300 and 600 milligrams, taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. But your starting dose of valerian might be lower, as some successful studies and anecdotal reports from real users use just 200 milligrams. Remember, it's always best to start low and see how you respond. For anxiety during the day, some sources suggest dosages of 400 to 600 milligrams of valerian extract, which can be split during your day into 3 smaller doses used throughout your day. Just be careful that the dose that you choose, that it doesn't make you sleepy. You don't want to be falling asleep at the wheel or at your desk. Second, consistency is key. While some studies show benefits the first night, many reviews conclude that the most reliable improvements in sleep quality come after 2 to 6 weeks of continuous use. Think of it less like a knockout pill and more like a supplement that's gradually helping your nervous system calm itself down. And third, context matters. Valerian works on the GABA system, and its effects can be amplified by other things like drugs that do the same thing. You should absolutely avoid taking it with alcohol, benzos, or other prescription antidepressants, because that combo can be dangerous. So who is valerian really for? It's not for someone if you're looking to knock yourself out. It's for the person who feels wired but tired, or your mind is racing with anxious and racing thoughts when your head hits the pillow. It's for you if stress is sabotaging your sleep. And based on the latest research, it could be for women seeking non-hormonal support for hot flashes and PMS. Valerian side effects and safety. Valerian is generally considered non-toxic and safe to use. A large meta-analysis of 60 studies concluded valerian could be a safe herb to promote better sleep. However, safe doesn't mean zero side effects. The most common valerian side effects are mild and can include dizziness, headache, and upset stomach. As Dr. Berg noted, some people experience a paradoxical reaction and feel more anxious or restless. And yes, morning grogginess can happen for a few people, especially with higher doses.
Now, the problem with taking valerian root when you're sleeping is that it can make you feel groggy when you wake up. You can feel very drowsy the next day.
A lesser-known side effect is the potential for vivid dreams, which some people like and some people don't. Now, there have been rare reports of liver injury linked to valerian. These cases are infrequent and often involve multi-ingredient supplements. In other words, a valerian supplement with other ingredients in it, making it hard to pin the blame solely on valerian. Still, if you have pre-existing liver disease, you should probably avoid using valerian. And finally, valerian isn't for everyone. It should be avoided if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, and it's not recommended for kids under 3. You must stop taking Valerian at least 2 weeks before any scheduled surgery to avoid risky interactions with anesthesia. As always, talk to your doctor if you have health condition or take other medications. Valerian. But wait, there's more. So where does this leave us? What Dr. Berg didn't tell you about valerian root is that it's far more than a crude sedative. While he's right to warn against the goal of simply knocking yourself out, the conversation misses the growing body of science showing that valerian, used correctly, does something far better. The latest research shows that it can help you fall asleep and improve sleep quality and without the sleep hangover. It works by intelligently modulating your brain's own calming system through GABA. And its potential benefits extend beyond sleep to anxiety, stress, and even menopause symptoms. So here's the bottom line. Don't use valerian as a sedative expecting to knock yourself out. Think of it as more sophisticated than that. Consider standardized valerian extracts in the 300 to 600 milligram range for sleep. And be patient, because its best effects might build over weeks. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to this channel and hit the share button so that others can learn how to manage their sleep problems, anxiety, or menopause and hot flashes. If you want to see links to the studies I talked about or to the specific dosages for this protocol, go to my website, nootropicsexpert.com, or simply click the link in the notes section below this video. If you could use some personal help with choosing the right nootropics, consider booking a personal consultation with me. Or join our YouTube membership and get help from others in our community. And if you choose the Neurohacker 2.0 tier, there's a good chance that I'll personally review your stack and make a video with my suggestions on how to improve it. So join right now before you do anything else. I'm David Thoman, author of Nootropics Expert, and thanks for watching.